There are probably more skin tones in that transition alone. Now, looking at Splatoon 3, there are definitely way more improvements in terms of the hair in this game. That's why a lot of people kind of recognize this as a new game in the first place, and it's probably how they recognize Splatoon 2 as a new game. I'm definitely happy with the customization so far, but there are some things that can be done to expand on it more, and I just want to share some thoughts. They most likely thought of these ideas themselves, but you know, this was all done in Clip Studio Paint. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. This hairstyle, I don't know the name of it, but it'll be really cool to add more variation to these hairstyles. They don't have to start with something new, they can already build off of what they already have, like this one here. Instead of having one braid, they can have two. And when it comes to undercuts and stuff like that, they have no fades. I don't understand why they don't, but they don't have any fades. It doesn't have to be mesh cut specifically, it can be pigtails, just basically anything with an undercut, and probably more variations as well. My next point is how people wear their hair. This is the hairstyle hippie. What if somebody got a hair tie and tied their hair with the hairstyle hippie? This is groundbreaking, I know. And I know for sure that I am not the only one who thought of this. This kind of goes into pigtails because in order for you to have a ponytail, you need to wear a hat. Why? Why not change the position of the pigtails when wearing different headgear or wearing the Tentatek contacts? What if there's a version of pigtails that has no undercut? What if every hairstyle that had an undercut had no undercut, and vice versa? My next point is the length of the hair. They can do this with every hairstyle. Probably the maximum is the length of hippie, because anything longer wouldn't really go so well, especially with the, yeah. Now with color. In the Splatoon 3 trailer, I think there are 2 more skin tones added, and that is always good to have more transition shades, but for a more accurate skin tone, they can do something like this. Adding shifters basically, or sliders. These literally provide the most accurate pinpoint color that you can get. Now I know every skin tone in the world can't be replicated, and it might take a really long time for that to happen, but getting dang near close is pretty good as well. Which is why they need to add this for skin tones and the eye color, which is something I'm going to go into later. But about the skin tones, as you can see, there are 3 versions of them. All I did was use the gradient in Clip Studio, and these 3 versions are basically the tones of skin. Number 1 is neutral, number 2 is warm, and number 3 is cool. Of course they can refine this and make it way more better than the example I'm showing you, but this is just to show you what I'm talking about. Next is the eyes. This is another shifter, but it actually involves the whole rainbow. In my opinion, I honestly think it's perfect for the eyes. I know they can try and modify this so that we all don't look like highlighters, but you know, adding the whole rainbow can help. And of course they can add a hue, saturation, and luminosity scale. And of course this includes the new eyes that we can get now, which you can change the color of the pupil, the iris, and the outer iris. If they want to allow their players to make their eyes more saturated or brighter, they can do it for the outer eye. It's the smallest part of the eye, it's subtle, and it's a nice detail to make the eye pop, which is why I'm actually glad we got it in the first place. Honestly, I didn't expect this at all. I'm so grateful for this. As you can see, we have a limited color palette. They can be going for a theme, which is why they have certain hairstyles, why they're at certain lengths, which is understandable, but when it comes to customization, people really want to portray themselves. At least one of the main reasons is they want to portray themselves as close as possible. And this can be a huge change. Just changing the colors alone is a huge change. E3 is on Tuesday. I really hope I get to see some Splatoon 3 news. It would be so cool. But honestly, we're gonna get news eventually, so get hyped for that. You know, I'm suggesting that they turn the sliders into the same color sliders in Miitopia, right? right?